episode is our weekly podcast Knowledge Empowers. And with you is me, Kat. 안녕하세요. And then we have Baruch.
Hello, hello.
And we have Kolaj.
Dobré ráno. Good morning, everyone.
And we have a guest today, our good friend Kubik.
Hola.
Wait a minute. Do you even speak Spanish?
No, that was also in Spanish.
Very well. Today we have a special session because we want to look into the life of a Scrum Master. And Kubik is a Scrum Master. Let's start first with our 3 fun facts or just tidbits.
Let's go with those tidbits. So first off, Tam is curiosity which happened in Switzerland recently or some time ago. I'm not sure exactly right now. They've constructed or run the world's longest train. It had 1.9 kilometers. So it was 9.1, almost 2 kilometers long, and it had 100 cars. So they made a world record with this. I'm not sure if I can even imagine 2 kilometers long train on the train station. Like if you need to get from one end to the other one, or you get to the restaurant.
How long it will take?
Yeah, like
see you in an hour.
Toilets are at the back.
Ah, no.
And there you go. So yeah, so that's one. The other one is that there was a research done or recently finished with the ants, and they realized that they are also breastfeeding.
Say what?
In a way. They are milking a different stage of ant and feeding it to larvas. So they are milking puppaes, which is like further stage of ant development before it becomes an ant. And they are feeding it back to larvas, so even the sooner stage of ants. So this brings question again, like how this feeding or something similar to breastfeeding develop within insects, because breastfeeding is mostly mammalians' instinct, and they are doing something really similar. So now there is a real question how actually a community of ants is developed and how this actually is helping the community altogether. And the third one I have here a small quiz.
You have what?
It's a small quiz.
Small quiz.
Quiz, like quiz questions and you need to answer. So I want you to guess which of these are nuts.
Okay,
so let's start.
You are nuts.
Chestnut. I'm nuts. Yeah, sure. Chestnut. Is it a nut or not?
it is a nut.
Yes, it is. Hazelnut.
It is a nut.
Yes. Peanut.
No.
No.
Pistachios.
No.
Yes.
Mhm. No, pistachios are not nuts. Almonds.
Yes.
Yes.
No. Almonds are seeds. Walnuts.
Yes.
Yes. Coconut.
Yes.
No. The coconut is a fruit.
Yeah, it's a cocoa fruit from the cocoa palm family. Do you know the song?
Yes, I
No.
do. A different type of quiz. Yeah. Pecans.
Yes.
No, those are seeds. Cashews.
I'm gonna say no.
I don't even care now.
Cashews are seeds, so no, those are not nuts. And acorns.
Those are nuts.
Yes, those are nuts.
But then why some of those nuts have the word nuts in the word when it's not a nut? Like a coconut.
Well, because I think it will have something to do with legislation, like with the tomatoes. Tomato is in some of the states as a vegetable, sometimes a fruit, depending on how you pay the taxes for the fruits or vegetables when you are transferring them, selling them, buying them.
How smart.
So it could be connected to that as well with this type of fruits or actually seeds and everything. The other one could be it's just developed because they look like eggplant. There's nothing to do with eggs.
Yeah, and it's similar also. You remind me berries, berry fruits.
Yeah, I have those ready for the next week.
Okie dokie. So we have a Scrum Master with us on the call. So we want to know the life of a Scrum Master.
We've had this episode with methods how to deliver a project. We were talking about waterfall, agile, Scrum, Kanban, blah blah blah, lean, whatever. So Kubi, can you tell us a bit what actually is a Scrum, how it fits this agile project methodology world?
Yes, so sure. Hey everyone. So Scrum is basically agile framework. As you were saying, there is traditional approach to project management. There is also something called Agile. Agile has many frameworks or many approaches, and Scrum is basically framework which has predefined ceremonies, roles, and artifacts, and that makes it easy to basically apply and work with it. And if we want to go into details of each ceremony and everything, we can, but basically you can read about it. It has a really simple guide. It's free online, so you can read about it and basically learn it. It's really easy to understand it, but it's as I see it, it's often hard to implement it correctly into practice. So yeah, because I worked on 3 places as a Scrum Master, and I never seen it being applied the same way, because it was applied before I come to the company, and it's like, okay, let's do this.
But okay, I don't want to get into deep discussion, but is it supposed to be implemented in the very same way?
Well, it depends. There it comes
Okay.
it depends.
That's
So,
what
yeah.
our podcast is about. It depends.
Yeah, I mean, Scrum can be used for various projects, products, or different type of works. Like it doesn't have to be necessary software development, even it's most popular used there. But yeah, the question is, should we use Scrum? And that's where you should have some understanding of different frameworks. Like you should find what fits you the best for the work you do. So it's not like Scrum is silver bullet for everything.
What framework to use when you don't need to work? Okay,
You don't need to work, you don't need framework. Come on.
So, Kubik, what is the life of a Scrum Master?
It's awesome. It's really simple.
Can you please elaborate? It's not enough for us. That's the end of the podcast. Da, 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 da.
Who would be the people that should do a Scrum Master, or maybe people who shouldn't do Scrum Master? What are the expectations there?
Yeah, I mean, this is something I when I was doing this similar presentation, there was this myth like not everyone can be a Scrum Master. Well, everyone can be a Scrum Master. The question is, should everyone be a Scrum Master? Well, no, it doesn't suit everyone's personality. The ideal Scrum Master, as I see it, should be talkative, should have the communication skills and facilitation skill, because he needs to put team together. He needs to create good atmosphere. He needs to be a good teacher. He needs to understand Scrum at first place. Like he needs to master the Scrum, and he needs to know to pass knowledge to the team, to product owner, and to the whole organization, because that's the three way he works towards to. It's the development team, it's the product owner, which is different role in Scrum, and also the whole organization. I would like to ask you, like, how you think, or how do you imagine the ordinary day in Scrum Master life look like? What do you guys think?
Well, they come to work. They have a stand-up meeting.
No.
Maybe
First they need to have coffee. First there needs to be
coffee.
Wrong, I
Isn't
don't
that
drink
done
coffee.
during stand-up meeting? I don't know. Anyway, They have standard meeting, then they go help with whatever challenges are coming out of the standard meeting, if it's necessary. And then I don't know, maybe they have some meetings with product owners.
And what if there are no problems? Does that mean that Scrum Master doesn't have to do anything the rest of the day? Oh,
Well, we don't know even if what I said is correct, so it's probably not.
Clutch, any thoughts from you?
I imagine that there is a lot of I'm doing something or I pretend to do something, but I'm not doing anything.
I imagine like it's very similar to web delivery lead role that we used to have with Jakub. So
Typical day of Scrum Master. Well, and I will use this now again. It depends. And yeah, it depends on what you are dealing with, like how mature team you have, like Agile or Scrum maturity we are talking about, not like if you are working with children, that's illegal. So basically, you need to know if you need to teach them about the framework and how does it work, basically. Or if you are facing with some other challenges, like okay, something is not working, some communication struggles, some external influence is coming, or some external problems, and you need to communicate with outside of the company probably. Sometimes product owner may have issues like okay, he don't know how, or she doesn't know how to prioritize backlog or whatever. It really depends. But what's the most common is, like Baruch said, it's the daily stand-up, which is one of the ceremonies in Scrum. And it's basically this short meeting, usually maximum of 15 minutes long. And it's basically when the team gets together, the whole Scrum team, which contains also the product owner and the development team and Scrum Master as well. But I mean, I don't need to be there. I just need to make sure it happens. And the team is basically discussing what they need to do that day, because it's really quick sync meeting when they discuss, okay, what we need. Is there any problem we need to solve? Do anyone need my help, or I need somebody's help? So please discuss this. And if they acknowledge some, like, yet we need to solve this or something else, then they can meet after the meeting, like, okay, I need you, so we can just talk, two of us. So
what do you mean by you don't have to be there?
Because, yeah, I mean, usually I am, because sometimes there are actions also for me, like, okay, I can help you with this and this and this. But what I am trying to teach the team is you don't need me. We are trying to create self-organized team, and the team should be able to solve anything by themselves. My ultimate goal in the organization is become unimportant. Like, I don't need to be there and everything works. That's my ultimate goal. And I told it to my team, like, I want to do nothing. And until I am there, I will help you with everything and I will teach you and everything. But my ultimate goal is you don't need me. So
how can I get unemployed? Ta-ta-da-da. Here are the steps.
Basically, yes. But I mean, it doesn't mean like you can leave the company, because there are usually different teams and you can help there. There is organization, there is leadership, which may not understand Scrum or Agile at all. And they may be the obstacle or the impediment in work of the team, because they are blocking something and they don't understand, like, okay, let's trust the team that they can do this and don't micromanage them and so on.
Because I thought that those first 15 minutes, even for you as a Scrum Master, helps you to find out if there are some obstacles that you can then, which is your job then to, for example, fix. And because if you are not there, how will you find out?
Well, that's the common misunderstanding that, yes, Scrum Master helps to remove impediments. That's one of the sentence, I believe, in the Scrum Guide, as one of the roles of the Scrum Master is to remove impediments. But that doesn't mean I'm responsible to remove everything. Like, okay, some server is not working. How am I supposed to fix it? I don't know nothing about servers, So that's not the goal of Scrum Master, to be responsible for removing everything. as I see it, is my responsibility is to teach the team they are capable of solving it. If they do not, I am trying to find a way, discussing the options, and let them know, like, okay, this is how we can solve it if I found out. And next time this issue happens, they can solve it themselves. What I experienced in one of my previous jobs was like, they thought I'm their secretary. Like, yeah, if we need something, let's ping Kubo and he will do it. Like, yeah, I'm coding and I need to contact this guy to solve something for me. So Kubo, please write him. But it requires to some technical terms, some problematic. So I was like, I need to discuss this with the developer and he needs to explain me, and I will then write email to the external party or whoever he needs to. So I was like, okay, why don't you do it? Because it makes more sense. And he was like, sure, but you are Scrum Master. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not your secretary. I can help you if you are struggling or he is not communicating or something. I can push on them, but I'm not doing work instead of you.
What Jakub said, I imagine it's like this ideal state that he's actually not necessary in work. I remember one of my previous managers said, like, I know I'm doing my job well if nobody ever needs me. Like that is the ideal state to get to. And I understand what Jakub is saying, that if you're doing your job well as a Scrum Master, then eventually you are not necessary. But honestly, I don't think that ever happens, since teams change, projects change, etc.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, also projects change, but Scrum is more suitable and it's encouraged to work instead of project management to product management, because it's Scrum is about delivering value in increments and building on the products based on what customers or stakeholders needs. So you are working in this sprint, which is basically 1 week, 2 week, or max 4 weeks period. When you are trying to deliver something you have on your list based on your discussion with the customer. That's why it suits product management, because you are caring about the product and how to make it work for the customer and build only the necessary work for the customer. So you know what he wants, what problems he needs to solve, and it's up to you how you solve them. You know the priority based on the talking, and basically you want to deliver it as soon as possible.
So does Scrum Master have direct impact on the result of that product? Or is it always just indirect, trying to help the team to deliver?
And following on Baruch, how do you know that you are successful or you're doing a good job? Like, what are your KPIs or measurement for your personal role,
Yeah, it's this is a good question, because it's hard to put it into numbers, like your work. I mean, you can do something like you can estimate work in the sprint, like the team is working on something and they can estimate it in points, let's say in story points, and you can see like, okay, they can deliver it and they can increase it and still deliver it. Like, I mean, they cannot increase it infinitely, but they can plan correctly. Like, so they deliver what they planned or what they forecast. They have a good atmosphere in the team. That's one of the crucial things, because as a Scrum Master, I heard this opinion like, oh yeah, Scrum Master, you mean happiness manager? And I was like, well, that's part of my job as well. I mean, you as a Scrum Master are trying to put the team together so they can work as a team. They have good collaboration. They can talk to each other. Well, basically, you can see they can communicate openly about issues if they hold each other accountable for the work. So if there is somebody who is poor performing or something, they bring it up and trying to help him. Or it's not like he is not trying to improve this poor performer. Well, they will raise it and we will try to swap him with some different developer or something, because maybe he is not happy in this team. Maybe he is not happy with the product. So we are trying to find the best fit for the team as well.
I love the job title, happiness manager. Okay, in my next job, I want to be happiness manager. What do? I'm just being happy.
I manage my happiness. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the sad part when people underestimate your job, or because it's either they don't understand the job role or they don't understand the depth of it and they just see something on the surface. It's I hate that so much. When college asked about KPIs and you said it's hard to put it in a number, how does your manager then checks your performance?
How I can tell I'm doing a good job? I'm talking to people. I have one-to-ones with with every member of my team. If I know, like, if we are talking about something and they can raise it on retrospective, which is another ceremony in Scrum, and they are safe to talk about also issues and bad things, then I know, like, okay, we have safe environment here and we can talk openly about anything. That's a good indicator for that. And how my manager, well, he has also, like, he discussing with me, he knows, like, if I know how the team is performing, he can see. I mean, basically, if you can see the team is well performing and is happy, that's also part of the Scrum Master work. Because I mean, if it would be like the team is happy, well performing and doing everything right, then yeah, I'm as a Scrum Master can do nothing. That's what I already told you. So if my manager sees this, okay, if that's happening, I would start to be bored. Like, okay, can I help somewhere else? And that's why I currently it's happening in my my job now. I'm currently starting helping another team, so I will have 2 teams.
And are you also measured based on the product delivery? Like if a sprint finished and you delivered, is that also part of your performance and KPIs?
Not really. It's mostly like if there are if it's reoccurring event, like, okay, we didn't deliver something, or if something bad happened, then my job is to find out why, like to have this retrospective and find, okay, what we did wrong or what happened. If these are external factors, like, okay, something broke and we couldn't affect it, then okay, what can you do? How can you put that into our fault? But if it's like, okay, we overestimated and we couldn't deliver this because we planned poorly, like we say, like, okay, we can do all of this and then deliver like not even half of it, that may be like, okay, our judgment was wrong, so we can improve on this. And that's the main pillars of the Scrum, is like, you need to be transparency, then inspection. You are in constant loop of inspecting your work, and adaptation. You need to find what you did wrong and what you can improve and adapt on it. So that's it. And if something wrong is happening or you are not delivering, then something is wrong. And if you cannot improve, then I guess you can also blame Scrum Master, because what I'm trying to teach also the management, it's not like there is one person responsible for something. There is a whole team accountable for the whole work, for the whole delivery. Even if there are fuck ups, the whole team is responsible. Even if one guy do the fuck ups, it's not like, okay, you did it. We raise it on our retrospective, because on retrospective it's only the team. There is nobody else. So we are talking to each other and we raise it like, okay, you did this. What happened there? So we are trying to learn from it, from the mistakes, and adapt on it, so it's not happening again. But if we cannot improve, then something is wrong. And it may be like, okay, Scrum Master doing poor job. They are not communicating. Why is that?
So since you started this topic, what would you say is the most difficult part in being Scrum Master? Is it retrospective? Is it taking care of the team? Is it being understood as a role?
Being understood as a role is a really big challenge, because sometimes it happens like the team, if they are not really experienced with Scrum, and they think of you like, okay, you are their boss. So that's one of the first things I'm telling them. I'm not your boss. I'm just your colleague. I'm part of the team with a different set of responsibilities. As a product owner, she is not your boss. It's your colleague, it's your teammate with different set of responsibilities. He's not telling you what to do. He is trying to prioritize backlog, because that's his job or her job. So That's one thing, understanding of your in the team, but also in the company as at all, because sometimes this manager thinks like, okay, you are happiness manager, make the team happy, but they are not like letting you, or they are not willing to trust the team that they can be self-organized and they can manage the workload and priorities themselves. So they are getting involved and telling them like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do, need to work on this. So that's sometimes hard to explain to management, like, okay, let them work. They are discussing with the customer. They are knowing the priorities because they are in direct communication with the customer, or if we have stakeholders, with the stakeholders, but they have also responsibility to know the priorities. So yeah, that's really challenging. And also what's the most difficult? Sometimes it's when sometimes it's hard to explain why the Scrum is like good fit, or why it's work, because with developers they are usually what I see, but it's not always the case. They are really introverts. They're like, okay, tell me what to do. I will put my headphones on and I will work. I don't want to communicate with anyone. I don't want to go onto useless meetings. And to explain them why the meetings are not useless is really hard, because this meeting is not for me. It's for you. It should help you to deliver your work, or you can help somebody else. I want to make a team of you guys. So that's sometimes really challenging.
When you compare when we used to work together as a web delivery lead, and now you are doing the Scrum Master, was there something helpful you've learned and you are now applying it, or you wish you would learn something there that it would be way and faster help right now?
Well, it was different job and different responsibilities. As a delivery lead, I was responsible to some sort of planning and some sort of distribution of work. But yeah, I mean, I can see now how I could apply it differently. Like I if I would be doing Scrum and know about Scrum Master role and all these principles sooner, I could apply it to web delivery lead role, because I would create the team more self-organized. Like, okay, you organize how you do the work, who will be working on what. I mean, I can advise because I know their skill level or something, but I would put the more accountability on the team. Like, okay, you are expert in the developer work, like in the coding, in the programming language. So you know how to do the work the best, and so I would let them to decide how to do it, because that's something I really like about Scrum and Scrum Master role. Like, you basically putting trust into team, and you are letting them know they are the expert. They can do the work. They can solve the problems, and you are not trying to telling them what to do. I mean, that's I never telling people what to do, and I always say like, okay, I know some best practices, but I want your agreement. I want agreement on this. Like, I can propose something, and if you are okay with it, okay, let's do it. But it's not. I never implement something because I said so. Like, okay, we will do it this way because I said so. That's not organizing the team. Like, they are not. They didn't come up with it, or they didn't agree on it.
Let's say you persuaded me to buy into Scrum. That I want Scrum in my workplace. I want Scrum Master. I want this to be full-blown implementation. What checklist do I need to go through to know that I'm eligible for Scrum and Scrum Master and everything like that? Like, I want to implement it within my team, the Scrum. What I need to know, or what I need to have there checked.
Okay, what do you need to have? I would say, well, you need to have a developer team. You need somebody who will take the role as a product owner, which is basically a role who is responsible for managing the backlog in a way like to put priorities on it, like what should be due now, what should be the next, and what should be done never.
So you need to have a product owner.
Yeah.
You need to have
development team, and you should have development team consisting of people there are no explicit roles in the development team. Everybody is just the developer. Even you can have front end, back end, QA, I don't know what, but everybody is developer. And you just need to make sure you have the skills in the team to be able to deliver the whole solution.
And you can only use the Scrum in regards of a developing product, as in like coding something, or can a Scrum be used, for example, in learning and development, or when you are delivering development program? Or
yes, Scrum can be, I mean, it's most popular in software development, and I think it originates there, but you can use it basically everywhere. I mean, it doesn't mean you should. As I said, it's not silver bullet, but it can be applied also in HR, in learning and in learnings. It can be, I saw it, I read some articles also about the construction. I mean, I cannot really imagine it, but they were some sort of iteration and inspect and adaptation in construction work. So it's possible. So yeah, but there are also different methods. So for some type of works, you can use Kanban, or you can use even not agile methodologies, like also traditional waterfall. You can maybe fit for something when you know all the requirements up front, and it won't change.
so guys, if case you have any further questions, please write them down in our comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. And we usually also give at the end a recommendation. So what would be your recommendation if someone wants to become a Scrum Master?
If you want to be a Scrum Master, and you have the prerequisite, like you like to work with people, that's really, for me, main prerequisite, because Scrum Master is really people role. So if you like to work with people and you are willing to help them to be better and to work better together, then go for it. Start to read articles. And what I can recommend is a book by Zuzi Shochova, which is the leader of Scrum Alliance. And the book is called The Great Scrum Master, I believe.
And I will just add to it that also depends whether you are a listener or a reader. If you're a listener like me, I highly recommend to undergo the Scrum Master course with the lector, and then you do the certification. If you prefer a reading, you can of course learn everything about it by reading and then do the certification. With that said, I'm gonna say 수고하셨습니다.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
This podcast represents our own opinions, experience, and our own ideas. We do not represent any official statement from our employers, and this is not their official channel representing the company.